This morning, I hit publish on the latest podcast episode, and then silence. No message, no confetti, no crowd cheering, just me and my laptop. For a moment, I just sat there, feeling that mix of exhaustion and pride that comes when you've poured yourself into something and finally let it go. Then I sighed big, went to the kitchen, grabbed some chocolate, told my dogs all about it since they were the only ones home. That tiny rebellious celebration, just me, my laptop, and that strange, quiet space that always follows, gave me more energy than any external praise ever could. Because the truth is, as solopreneurs, we finish things all the time. We create, we deliver, we show up, and most of the time, the world doesn't notice. But we can, and we should. Welcome back to Big Dreams and Little Things. I'm Maria Wronski-Ellis, and today we're getting real about small wins. Those quiet victories nobody else claps for. And why, as a solo creative, you have to celebrate them anyway. We're talking momentum, motivation, and the truth of working alone. We'll share stories, practical hacks, and even a tiny experiment that might make you laugh, maybe even dance at your own victories. And of course, a warm welcome to my brilliant co-host Karina Kampe, coach, songwriter, and a professional juggler of many creative ideas. What's up, Karina?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I feel a little British today.
Oh?
Yes, I feel like drinking tea with dry biscuits and giving snarky comments like Maggie Smith in Downton.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah, beside that lapse of character, I'm trying on a bit of reloading. I just sent out backstage, and I'm writing about how we sometimes need to stop and reload after having taken on too many lovely and interesting, yet, well, too many different projects. And also use the words thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Sorry, but it's too much. And please offer me some help now.
Good for you for actually doing that.
Yeah, I just realized I can't do it all on my own. And I don't want to do it all on my own either. Oh. Some things are just not my buzz. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. But I'm also in a celebratory mood. Because this week I'm sending in things for school for review. Yoo-hoo! And I'm cashing in on some jobs done. And that kind of stuff. So that's really good. And that's good for this episode.
Definitely, because that's exactly what we're talking about. Life's busy. Our wins are small, but those little sparks, they're really what keep us moving forward and keep us going. It really creates momentum. And I think that's why we always end our episode with a small win. Our victory dance, right? Because success isn't one big finish line. It's a collection of small steps and moments we ourselves as creators chose to honor.
Yes, small steps and celebrate them all.
Yeah, definitely. But before we jump into our next point, a quick little update for our listeners. Because from now on, we're not just calling our podcast Big Dreams and Little Things. It's also the new name of our community and platform. ECTA is still our method. We still believe in peer support and accountability. Yeah. Nothing has changed on that front.
No.
We just felt Big Dreams and Little Things reflects much more of who we are, what we do, and what this whole journey that we're creating is about, and turning those big dreams into little meaningful actions.
Yes, ECTA just sounded a little bit too stiff, even though it isn't. It's not at all.
We couldn't identify with it properly, could we?
No, we're much more stars and firecrackers and color.
Yeah, I think so.
You can think of it this way. Big dreams, a little thing is the heart. And then the ECTA method is the muscle that keeps everything moving. Because that is still very proficient and really good. So it's just the umbrella name that's changed. So we are going to change our website name and also the Instagram. And we'll, of course, tell you when that happens. And speaking of movement, sometimes a small win doesn't look like success from the outside. It's just that one brave step forward the one that quietly changes everything later, expanding your safety zone, wanting to do more, daring to do more, and celebrating that you dared to do it. And that's exactly what happened with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Her story is such a perfect example of how tiny moments of creative courage can lead to something extraordinary.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the British writer, actress, and producer best known for creating and starring in the critically acclaimed TV series Fleabag, is celebrated for her sharp wit, dark humor, and deeply personal storytelling. When she was writing Fleabag, she wasn't waiting for some magical perfect moment of inspiration to strike. She understood that creating something remarkable wasn't about sudden flashes of genius. It was about showing up every day, finishing the small things, and honoring them. For every scene she completed, every line of dialogue nailed, she had her own ritual. She might scribble a little star in her notebook, take a slow breath and let herself smile, and even quietly celebrate with a small gesture, tapping the table, leaning back with a satisfied exhale, or just pausing to notice what she had achieved. These rituals weren't for anyone else. There were no cameras, no fans, no applause. They were private, intimate acknowledgements that the work existed. In these moments, Waller-Bridge wasn't just a writer finishing a scene. She was a creator who paused to feel the weight and the joy of her own progress. She treated every small win like a checkpoint in a long, winding journey. Completing a scene wasn't the final goal. It wasn't the awards or the public recognition that mattered, but it was a reason to pause, breathe, and celebrate the fact that she had done the work. These little celebrations built momentum, turning the massive challenge of writing an entire season into something manageable, tangible, and even fun. And it wasn't always quiet or solemn. Sometimes, finishing a particularly tricky scene meant leaning back, chuckling at the absurdity of her own humor, or rereading the lines aloud with delight at what she had created. These tiny moments, fleeting, personal, almost invisible to anyone else, were her fuel. They reminded her why she was doing this in the first place, why she loved storytelling, and why she could keep going when the next scene felt intimidating. For Waller-Bridge, honoring completion was as important as the act of creation itself. It was a way to stay grounded in her process, to acknowledge progress even when the world hadn't noticed, and to find joy in the act of finishing. Each small win was a moment to pause, celebrate, and prepare for what came next, a private celebration of the work itself, quietly powerful and utterly human.
I really didn't know about her before this episode and before you presented her. So I'm really going to look her up. But I really love the fact of the small celebrations. And what comes to my mind is one of my absolutely first coachees, which was actually a colleague, because we had to coach each other in our training. And he had trouble with victories and celebrating the small successes. So I gave him a challenge that every time he did something good, he actually put down, one of those little golden stars that the kids have,
Yes,
real
yes.
golden stars on a piece of paper called like my victories, my successes. And I remember him coming back. He was glowing. It was like, this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun. And I want other colors of the stars, So he went all creative. And he wasn't a creative. He was like in finance or something like that. So he wasn't, an artist or anything like that. So my suggestion is, make a list of things that you think are fun that you can use as a victory dance kind of thing.
Right.
Whatever it is, make a list of 15, 20 things. And then when you are finishing up one of your small part-time goals, use one of those. And it can be as easy as a golden star.
I think that's such a great idea. And I'm going to do that because I don't think I celebrate enough. We'll get to that later in our tiny experiments. The thing is, nobody else is going to know if you celebrate or not.
No.
But when you do it for yourself, You're really sending yourself a message. I did it. I finished something, and this is my reward. And I think that small acknowledgement really shifts everything because it's a proper closure and acknowledgement.
Something that I feel is that it has to be for me in a way.
Yes.
Something a little bit luxurious. And that's just my thing, to go and have your nails done or have that facial or buy that lipstick or, take a long bath. Pampering things, that makes me happy.
I remember Charlotte from episode 9, the episode How to Stay Creative, Clear and Connected.
Yeah.
She told us she celebrates by going into the kitchen and making herself a nice cup of tea.
Yes, and watching Netflix.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
She was indulging in her series, some, I think, Spanish series or something she was watching. And that was for her, only for her.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to involve buying things.
No.
You can crank the music up and jump and dance around to your favorite song, as easy as that. And that will also leave you feeling just amazing afterwards, I think.
Yeah, it's like Julia Cameron's artist dates.
That's a great example as well. It's a bit more of an effort. You actually go somewhere and you do something for yourself and always on your own.
Yeah. Or one thing that I love to do is go to the movies in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah. Matinee.
On my own. And I remember when I lived in New York, I would do that and I would do a double feature and just, sit there and just enjoy.
Yeah. There's actual science behind why celebrating small wins work. It's about how our brains are wired for reward, progress, and momentum. So let's unpack that a little.
Yes. So, your brain and body are actually wired to reward you for noticing progress. And once you get that, it changes everything for solo creatives. 1. Small wins. Dopamine boost. I like that.
Yes.
Every time you finish something, even a tiny task, your brain releases dopamine. It's literally a chemical high, a hit of, yes, you did it. That's why logging wins feels good and keeps you going. Even if nobody else notices, that micro dopamine hit fuels your drive, sharpens focus, and reminds you that you're capable. Think of it as brain caffeine, minus the jitters. And don't do it on Instagram. Do it in another way, please.
Number 2, momentum, visual tracking. We are visual creatures. Seeing your progress on a whiteboard, sticky notes, Trello board, whatever, reinforces your sense of competence. You don't just feel progress, you see it. And for solopreneurs, that is huge. No team, no boss, no gold stars. Well, yes, implement them now.
Yes.
So your visual wins become proof that what you're doing matters. It keeps you from stalling or second-guessing yourself.
And number 3, mental health, stress reduction, and inner critic detox. As solopreneurs, we live in constant "did I do enough" mode. That inner critic is loud, but celebrating wins, even small ones, literally quiets it down. And research shows acknowledging accomplishments reduces stress hormones like cortisol and boosts self-efficacy. Translation: noticing wins protects your mental health, keeps burnout away, and helps you survive the solo grind without losing your mind. I like that.
Number 4, reflection. Growth. Here's the strategic part, reflection. Pushing to celebrate isn't just feel-good fluff. When you reflect on what worked, what didn't, and what you learned, your brain actually strengthens the pathways for skill mastery and better decision-making. Every tiny win becomes a building block for bigger ones. It's what I like to call punk rock growth. It's fierce, deliberate, unapologetic progress.
5. Bonus. Positive feedback loops. Yes, this is the kicker. Small wins create a positive feedback loop. One acknowledged victory sparks another, building momentum that carry you through creative blocks or isolation. When you celebrate, you're literally hacking your brain's reward system in your favor. And the best part, you don't need anyone else to hand it to you. You're the DJ, the hype person, and the audience all in one. Yes.
So all this science sounds great, but it only really matters if we use it. right?
Yeah.
And that's what our tiny experiments are sort of about, turning these insights into something you can actually feel in your day-to-day.
Exactly. It's one thing to know that celebrating wins rewires your brain. It's another to test drive it. Yeah. So here's what we've tried this week.
Try a little something new. What can you make it do? Push a button, paint a sun, play, experiment, and have fun.
So I've been doing the hum reset.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it's been really nice. I can't say I've done it every day, but I have done it consistently. And one thing that was really fun, I did it with Hannah, my 6-year-old, or soon-to-be 6-year-old. And she has this little song, because she has to wash her hands after she goes poo-poo. So she sings the song every time she cleans her hands. So it's on Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So I was inspired. I was doing my reset, and then Hannah came and she was like, what are you doing? And then we started singing together, and she started singing the song, and then we started to experiment like Amber. So I did clear the kitty's dirty paw, pour on soap in heavy loads, scrub them inside and on top, tween the fingers, there's a lot, clean the thumb and nails as well, look, the paw is clean again. And then we started to improvise. So I was doing clean the kitty's dirty paw, and she would go, pour on soap in heavy loads, or things like that.
Yeah.
So we had so much fun doing this.
That is so nice.
Going back and forth and going crazy melodies. So I was like, yes, this is so much fun. So that was actually inspired by my hum reset.
That's brilliant. So it wasn't just a hum, it sort of took you somewhere else as well.
Yes, it did.
So for this week, as we're talking about small wins, my tiny experiments is really simple, but I also feel like it's really needed because I feel like I have to get better at celebrating. I do celebrate sometimes, but I feel that it's very infrequent. But I'm going to write down one win every day. And that really proves that it can be a tiny win. It doesn't have to be, a completed project. It can be that I finished mixing all of our podcasts. It can be that I wrote a newsletter or I worked on our marketing plan, just a small win.
Or it can be I showered today.
I showered today, yes. I got out of bed today. Woohoo!
Yes. Or you can
this time of the year, yes.
It can be I finally ordered that thing that has been broken for months. It can really be whatever.
Yeah, or I sat down for 1 hour and focused on this one thing I've been meaning to focus.
Yeah.
So just something little like that. The celebration can be big, small, silly, ridiculous, weird, whatever. So I can make a noise, a gesture, I can do a mini dance to mark it, I can have a nice cup of tea, I can go and, have a long, luxurious bath, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like the science said above, I want to see if I can hack my brain into creating even more forward momentum.
Yeah, that forward loop. And
Exactly.
seriously, just feel it, and say, yes, I did it. Like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Yes, that thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. It can just be that. And that you're going to feel that in your body, you know. I think it's all about taking that moment and realizing that you are giving yourself that celebration. I'm doing this because I'm curious to see if I work harder to get that win. If I do celebrate, is it going to create that forward momentum that I'm really hoping it will be?
I think it connects to gratitude. Gratitude towards yourself that I did this and yeah.
Exactly. I think that's so important and that's sometimes so hard to do. You're always chasing. It never stops, does it? It never ever stops. So that's why I think it's so crucial and important to, take 2 minutes to celebrate you.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello, wonderful creators of the world. What if you could take 12 concrete steps toward your dream in just 3 months?
Ignite is the 12-week peer support program that helps self-led creative entrepreneurs stop dreaming and start doing. Starting January 2026, you will get actionable milestones, weekly peer support, focus group sessions, and a community that gets it And this is real progress by April. So let's make no more some days. Let's make it done by April 2026. If you are ready to ignite your creative business, sign up now for the waitlist at www.ektahub.net/ekta-ignite. And there's also a link in the show notes. Remember, your wins are yours. Big, small, funny, beautiful, they matter. Celebrate them unapologetically and don't wait for validation. Make your own confetti list. What is fun for you?
And just a tiny reminder, momentum is built from micro victories. Pause, notice, and claim them. Maybe you do your own little victory dance, maybe scream, maybe sing, maybe just smile, but just do something, because nobody else will do it for you, and you'll be stronger for it.
Mm-hmm. Next week is Reflection Week, and that will be on this episode. So if you have thoughts, don't hesitate, drop us a line, because we'd love to address it in the episode. And the week after that, well, it's time to open the doors to Ignite. So in celebration of that, we will talk about how you can create a supportive community. And that is something that is so important. You really are who you surround yourself with.
Yes, and that is all for today. Keep celebrating your wins. And remember, the little things really do add up to the big dreams. Follow us on Instagram at bigdreams.ekta. Sign up for your weekly dose of nudging in our newsletter, Backstage Wednesday. And don't forget to sign up for Ignite. Do it today.
Because your next big breakthrough might just start with one small step.
And remember, show up,
speak up,
celebrate like a rebel,
and never skip the victory dance.
It's the little things that matter. It's the little things that count. The things that make you happy is what life is all about. It's the little things that matter, that take you through the day. A smile from a stranger, that brighten up your day.